And how many kobolds do I see roughly?
Looking down at a quick count, you're looking at about 5 kobolds. Not a terrible amount.
Okay. Like, what?
Actually, make a perception check. Maybe you get a better count.
Oh, I probably do because that's a 22.
You notice there is a 6th goblin, or not goblin. There's a 6th kobold. This kobold is sort of tucked off, whereas the rest of them are up on this table. You can see one of them kind of near what looks like at one point was a 10-foot wide stone door that was obliterated from the outside. Parts of it just kind of spread out in the ground in front of it. But he's kind of there looking through the stones there. You see him pick one up and throw it, clattering across the ground. Picks up another one.
All right. I turn to Mora and be like, how do we get rid of these 6 guys? We gotta get down there. I think that dead guy's Doug's owner. Don't tell him.
Well,
As he says that, Doug looks at you, Morwen, and you can see the head just kind of tilt to the side.
I'm just gonna be like,
It's not ready yet.
Well, not to be cruel, but if the guy's already dead, it's not really like.
Yeah, but there's good stuff down there. There's like a billion different stones down there. Plus, they're definitely looking for something.
I mean, but why do you need to go look at more rocks?
If you know, you can go have fun with Heinrich. I'm sure they're doing cool stuff back there, him and Shay.
I still have a fun side. Come on, don't be doing that now. But I'm just saying, now we have a new life to take care of. We can't just jump down and kill 6 people or kobolds with a new member of the family.
Well, let's try to get him to leave.
You want Doug to leave?
No, not Doug.
Oh, thank God.
You guys are watching this little animal's head just track back and forth between you as you talk. It doesn't seem to understand anything that you're saying, but it's a fairly intelligent animal. Doesn't speak common, but
right. It's just six of them.
I'm gonna say hello to Doug in Elvish.
Okay. You say hello to Doug in Elvish. There's just kind of like a little back. That's pretty much all you get. Unclear if he understood you.
I'm gonna say Doug in Elvish.
Okay. Guntir, you hear Morwen say Doug. And just like a little bit of an almost Germanic accent with it. But
I say Doug in Elvish.
Yeah,
so
that's canon. You so of note, Guntir, as you are like entertaining this idea, you look back down and you can see one of the kobolds comes very clearly into view, and he kind of goes through the stones again and pulls out what looks like it's like a perfect stone disc. Although you're noticing now, it's not necessarily the stone. In the middle of the disc, there's a small sample of ore. These are like samples of different kinds of stone. You can see like flashes of dwarf as it kind of manipulates it in its hand. There are letters and words on it. But it takes it and it turns and it screeches something back in Draconic and kind of disappears out of sight towards that table.
Oh, wait. Is it disappearing? Oh, towards the table?
Yeah.
I mean, like, they found whatever they were looking for. Some sort of dwarven artifact. I think we gotta stop them.
Does it look expensive?
It looks pretty expensive. But also, I feel like if we do this now, Heinrich and Shay will have to be happy with us if we stop them. Because it's probably bad for them.
But we don't know what we're stopping.
Yeah, but they don't care.
The clanking stop and like some chattering voices. They seem to be discussing something now.
Wait, so what's the situation where we're like looking down at a grate on them?
Yeah.
How high up are we?
From the ground, maybe like 45 feet.
Can we keep going through this? Can we like walk over it and keep going?
You can keep going about 10 feet and then it seems to dead end.
I think. All right, I have. This is what I'm gonna do. They're fighting, right? They're distracted.
They seem to be arguing. They're not, rolling
Right.
initiative on each other. But yeah, they're arguing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take out my high load fishing gear.
Okay.
I'm going to put the yellow berry on the high load fishing gear. And I'm going to slowly drop the berry on the hook down 40 feet to the ground.
And then face, twisting in like concentration.
So 40 feet.
And the tongue just like.
40 feet.
High load fishing gear can probably lift up a kobold, right?
Oh, are we trying to?
We'll find out.
We're trying to lift one. I thought you were just trying to kill.
So this little shriveled up yellow berry descends on a fish hook. The berry itself, it kind of like powder kind of comes off of it as you pierce it. It's completely hollow. This thing is dried out, but you lower it on the hook. It's just ludicrously small on the hook, but you lower it on the hook. Make a performance check for me.
Nice. That's 14.
14. Okay. So all of a sudden you hear the arguing stop. And you hear Makamawanti. And you just see all of a sudden one of the kobolds come into sight. And he just looks straight up and locks eyes with you past this berry. Because it's just like straight. And you just
like I'm not like I thought I had just had like the fish.
You want to like over? Okay.
Still I'm still trying to be sneaky about it,
Still sees like a string going up.
So you're waiting to feel something catch, and then you're gonna
yeah,
and then just slam him against the grate.
Yeah, and the berry is really only if like he falls off. It's insurance. Also, I'm trying to get rid of the berry.
None of that's gonna be happening based on
all of a sudden. Like a second kobold appears and a third kobold appears, and they all begin to sort of examine this thing. You feel the line tug a little bit as one of them kind of pokes it and it swings. You see the berry itself just kind of like fall over and onto the ground. One of them stomps on it. The berry is no more.
Are they all standing underneath the grate now?
There's how many of them standing underneath the grate?
Okay, cool. I'm gonna, while they're under there, I think I'm gonna drop all of the daggers that I have on top.
Okay. How many daggers is that?
That's so funny. Sorry. Oh no, he froze.
Oh no!
Man, but I want to know how many daggers that is. It's a lot.
It's six daggers and a short sword.
You're dropping a short sword too?
Yeah.
All right.
You're arming.
So go ahead and make make an attack roll, a ranged attack roll, using Dex as your modifier.
So 0.
Wait, so you're like bringing them out in front of me, right?
Yep.
So I see that he's about to do something like this.
Yeah, I'm like,
yes.
Watch this. I'm making sure. I'm like,
wait,
just grab.
Can I handle this? And I take them.
Okay, you take all of these knives and a short sword.
Okay.
I see what you're trying to do, but what if we just?
All right. I mean, if you want to, I guess so. They're not all underneath, so I guess if you want to pick off the ones that are gonna try to go, I'll get the 3 here though. I'm like getting ready.
Okay, and I'm gonna.
And you hear from off near that table this kind of, wait, and then you hear this.
Oh, they opened it. I'm dropping them. What? We're doing this.
All right,
Make your range.
I take like 3.
Oh, natural 20.
Nope. So Guntir, you take this. You grab from Morwen this big cluster of daggers and a short sword. They're kind of like wrapped around, almost like a chef's knife wrap, is what I'm imagining.
Yeah, like a
and you, in one motion, kick the grate, which comes down, and you just throw a bundle of daggers and short swords. Roll a d10 for me.
Alright. That's a 4.
4. So they take 5. One of them takes, I'll say between the three of them, they spread 5 points of damage out amongst them. They each take 2 points of damage, we'll say.
Dang.
I mean, you're not getting a full attack off of dropping daggers into a kobold. But each of them does take 2 points of damage. You can see one of them gets hit with the hilt, kind of like conks him on the side of the cheek, and you can immediately see scales kind of displaced from it. You can see one of them reaches up, and the dagger actually through the hand. And there's like a screech as it flings it away, and a clatter as the dagger goes off on the floor. The rest of them kind of clatter onto the ground noisily, and that's when you begin to hear. It's a different sound now, almost a vibration that you could feel. It is this building. It's coming from the direction of that table. You can see, even as they do that and they begin to shriek out and look up at you, all of a sudden their attention turns, and you can see one of them get really excited. What are you guys doing?
Is that sound reminiscent of a sound that we heard before a dear friend of ours got zapped into non-existence?
In a certain way. But as this kind of goes up, you can hear now metal. And it sounds as if something's being assembled almost rapidly. And you hear like cheers go up from the kobolds beyond. The three that are up, one of them looks up as the other two runs away, and then it joins them excitedly. I would say at this point, everybody roll initiative except for Heinrich and Shay and Hillia. We do not hear any of this yet.
Well, at least they have 2 damage dealt already.
That's true. Yeah, they're basically crippled.
And they have a bag full of knives. And
You did basically give them all. None of them had weapons.
I have plenty of other weapons. I thought that more cool in Guntir's mind.
Guntir, I mean, yeah. Guntir, what was your initiative?
13.
Okay, Morwen?
15.
Okay, they're going first. Okay, so I need to pull something back here.
I can't read your lips.
So they've disappeared now out of sight, and you can hear this kind of like screaming and clambering. And you can see 2 of them run back and grab daggers, and they look up at you. Guntir, one throws a dagger up this like kind of shaft leading up to where you guys are. You see it disappear out of sight as it into the ceiling and falls back down. Far beyond, you can now hear that kind of stop, and then all of a sudden, and now the floor of the tunnel that you're in above shakes a little bit, and then another one, and all of a sudden, lumbering into sight, you can see fairly close to you because it extends almost the height of the room.
Oh, geez.
This massive iron creature. Its face almost a ring of metal, purple stone set into it, and arcane scrawled around the ring. This blue flame seems to almost ripple out of it towards you. It seems to be the eye gazing at you. There's like this blue energy that extends down from the neck and into this massive metal chest piece. You see there is this stone circle placed directly in the middle with this little bit of metal in the center of it. And you can see it is going to reach up and attempt to attack you.
Oh, geez.
That is going to be a 28 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit there, boss.
Okay. D8s. Never use D8s. That is going to be... So as it reaches up, it grabs onto you and yanks you down the shaft. As you slam into the ground, you take 23 points of bludgeoning damage. Into this, you look out, you can see one of the kobolds like grinning at you from far away up on that thing. There's 2 more behind it. You can see there's 3 relatively close to you. One of them still little bits of blood coming down its hand from where your dagger pierced it. This creature towers over you, and its arm comes up and slams down again. That is going to be
Did Doug fall with me?
I assume that you were dug down to lift up all the daggers and short swords. You would have had to. So.
Presumably, yeah, he was next to me. Yeah. Okay, good.
With the second one, that is going to be a natural 20 to hit.
Oh, Jesus.
So that is going to be a lot of damage.
Boy. This is the things I'm looking good for old Guntir.
His
You got kind of lucky on that.
finally going to kill him.
You take 31 points of bludgeoning damage as it
boy.
slams into you again. You feel the bricks underneath you crunch as you are depressed down into the ground. You feel something on the inside of you break or pop. It's hard to tell which. But this thing is slamming into you. And you can see this single blue flame burning as it looks down at you. That is their turn. That is Morwen.
Alright. Well, first, as just a free action, I'm going to be like, to Doug, like.
Okay, you hear this kind of, as you kind of nudge him and he kind of squeaks twice, but he kind of takes like 5 feet of movement backwards a little bit.
Damn, Doug. Alright.
I mean, he's in a tunnel, that's 45 feet above the drop down. Oh, Guntir, you also would have taken damage from that fall, actually.
I'm trying to shoo him to go back, like to where he came from.
You got a double one, so you can take 2 more points of bludgeoning damage, Guntir.
That's not bad.
So this little creature takes a couple more steps back.
Shit.
What are you doing, more?
I'm going to use my rope to... staying up and dropping rope for Guntir. Being like, let's get the fuck out of here.
So Guntir, as this massive metal iron arm lifts away from you, bits of stone raining down from where they cased onto the metal, you see this rope just being lowered down and Morwen's face up above. You see Doug's face pop over for a second and then disappear. But okay, so you lower the rope down. That is your turn?
I mean, yeah, well, aside from of course, just bracing myself to either, whatever, yank him up or hold it if he's climbing.
Okay, in this very narrow space, you can just kind of push your legs out a little bit and you brace yourself into the wall very easily. You feel pretty sturdy. Guntir, what do you want to do? You're now lying on the ground. There are 3 kobolds within 10 feet of you. There is this massive iron creature in front of you. Iron, and it's not really iron, is not fair. It is mostly metal, although there are elements of blue energy that swirl around, connecting each individual piece.
I'm gonna... Am I is the rope coming down as I'm laying?
Yeah, it's within your grasp where you just stand up. You are on your back.
All right, I'm standing up and I'm I'm trying to book it.
I have 90 feet of rope, so I'm gonna drop a little bit on his face.
Okay, it kind of onto your head. You
grabbing it. I'm jeez.
You may get 15 feet up if you want to use your.
I'd like to pull at the same time if you can.
Okay, on your turn, you can certainly pull. That's something that I would say, you know what, you could have readied that as an action. So go ahead and make an athletics check.
I was saying I'd either brace myself to hold him if he's climbing or.
Yeah. Good enough. Make an athletics check.
7.
7.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Wait. 7.
Oh, okay. Good. Guntir, as you make it about 15 feet up the rope, you can see the kobolds kind of getting ready to swing with their hands because they don't have any weapons except for the ones that you've armed them with. You are pulled up an additional 5 feet. You are now hanging midway in this room. 20 feet up above you is that vent.
Can I use my dash action to continue climbing?
So your action, yeah, I would say you could do that. So it's another 15 feet. You get up and now, Guntir, your hands where they're holding the rope are just within the shaft. The rest of your body, like a little dwarven dangleberry, just kind of dangling below in the actual room itself.
Free action, just get the fuck out of here!
Free action, I'm trying.
Okay. Those are your free actions. So that is your turn. Go ahead and Heinrich and Shay roll initiative.
8.
I hope I don't get pulled back down.
8?
Me too.
Just an 8.
Wow.
That's my normal kind of initiative shit.
All right. So Shay, you hear this and then an additional, much louder, as that thing crunches Guntir into the ground. What are you doing?
Seems they've encountered a bit of trouble. And I'm waiting.
Okay.
Me.
You wait. So that is your turn, Heinrich. What do you want to do?
I mean, it's a tiny shaft. I can't go too far in. I'll like start going down and calling out to Morwen.
Okay, so you
like,
begin to go down.
Quietly, like, Morwen, what's going on?
You move your
I need to be able to see you and know where you are at least.
Your full movement, about 30 feet down the shaft, crawling through, and you can see only about 10 feet, only about 20 feet ahead of you, there is the actual shaft itself. So you could use your action to get to the actual grate.
Okay, if she's right there, I guess I'll just use message and be like, Morwen, what the fuck is happening?
All of a sudden, Morwen, from behind you, you hear that as you're like trying to hold. You see Guntir right about to get in. You hear Heinrich's voice enter your head from behind.
Can I respond right now?
Yeah.
Pull the fucking rope.
Pull the fucking rope.
I'm trying.
No, not you.
Heinrich, is that your turn?
I mean, I can't make it there this turn and pull the rope, so I'll just use that on next turn.
Okay,
I can't.
No problem.
Like it's either I dash there and like I'm in Morwen's way. Should you pull up all the way, or like I make it there and assist once? Like, you know what I mean?
Sure. That is your turn.
Does Doug get a turn?
Doug does not get a turn unless you're trying to use him in combat. He's also technically not like your companion.
Yet.
No, I'm just wondering, like, is he gonna run away or something? I hope
you don't know. Well, that brings us to the top of the order. So these kobolds.
Behind me. Sorry, go ahead.
These kobolds now begin picking up bits of rock and these daggers that are now littering the floor and begin just hucking them at you, Guntir, because they don't really have weapons. They are going to throw 3 of them at you. It's going to be an 11 to hit.
That just misses.
Oh, shit.
What was it?
15.
That hits.
And an 18.
That also hits.
You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage. I mean, they're throwing rocks at you. I mean, they really don't have things here. However, that creature watches you go up the single baleful blue flame, tracking your movement. And it is going to go ahead and, looking straight up, you watch as there is, again, that sort of... And you can see now, along the actual bits of metal, those purple stones begin to shine with light. And there's this kind of like crackles of electricity that begin to emit. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh, jeez. That's a tough one. Oh, thank you. That's a 17.
Okay, so you take 13 points of lightning damage. How? To 6.
Okay.
As you, from the blue eye, all of a sudden, each of these purple stones on its body seem to shine brightly at once, and the energy ripples up into the face and blasts a lightning bolt directly at you. Guntir, in this brief moment of this happening, you look down and you can see at the moment that the lightning releases, that little bit of metal in its chest glow extra bright. That is their turn. Morwen, what do you want to do? Guntir, you are on deck. You make it, you know what? It's 5 feet. No problem. You haul Guntir over the top. And like steam rising up from the electricity, from the single hair on Guntir's eyebrow, little spark emits from it. But you are now up in this space.
All right, I'm gonna football Doug, and I'm gonna start like hustling out of this fucking thing.
Okay, you pick up Doug.
Like, Heiner, get the fuck out of the way.
Oh, aren't you glad I didn't dash to get in the way?
There's this kind of, as you pick up Doug, and then you begin crawling forwards. All of a sudden, Morwen's right in your face, Heinrich. Morwen, that is your turn. Guntir, what are you doing? You're kind of laying down now in the shaft. You sit up and you look over, and you can see just that blue flame looking at you. There's another kind of flicker of lightning as it is doing so.
So I noticed that there was like a point that lit up.
Yep, on the chest where that stone circle is now residing.
Okay, I'm gonna try to, because the crossbow certainly hasn't failed me yet.
Sure.
Oh my God, you're killing
I'm gonna
me.
try to. I'm trying to shoot it at the circle crest thing.
Okay. Sure.
And then I'm gonna try to dip if it fails.
Go ahead and roll your attack.
That's 15.
Okay. You watch as you have to wind this thing back, the bolt going back and back and back, and then you depress the trigger, boom, and you hear it scatter across the stone beyond. You don't even see it miss because it moves so fast.
I'm dipping.
It does. You turn and you begin to dip. Right as you turn, there's like another rock that comes through the opening and kind of clatter onto the ground. But you begin to crawl through. You can see in front of you, there is Morwen. You see Doug's butt kind of like tucked under Morwen's arm.
Thank God.
You could see just past Morwen, Heinrich's face kind of peering around the corner. And just past Heinrich, you could see Helia now beginning to back out of the tunnel as well. But are you guys like the full-fledged retreat?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay. Without too much trouble. There's still a couple stones every now and then like clattering into the chamber, but they can't actually physically reach you at the moment, so you are now out of initiative. You can still hear like shouting kobolds and this kind of as this creature moves.